Hello readers and welcome to Creative Wednesday. A lot of you have made comments or asked questions about the horses that I paint, so I thought today I would show you how I get started. This is going to be a two-part video, so today we'll do the base coat. As you can see on some of these ones, I do a realistic coat and then I add the details over it. So today will be that realistic base coat. And then the next video will show adding the details. So let's get started. I like to use the Breyer horse paint kits because the models are really well made, they're realistic, and they come with realistic horse colors. Unless you get the fantasy horse paint kit, which this actually is, and then it comes with colorful colors. So, I'm actually doing this one for my daughter, and she wants a Beauty and the Beast horse. So we're going to do a buckskin, which means he'll be kind of yellowish on the body with black on the points, which is the mane, tail, and the legs. And I like to start on the body, and it depends on the pots of paint you get. Sometimes it's thick enough that I can get away with just doing a single coat, but sometimes I do have to do 2 coats of paint to make sure I'm getting a good cover on the body. Sorry. While we're doing this base coat, I can kind of talk to you about why horses. The Charming Academy series, if you've read that, features several horses. Each of the princes has a horse, and several of the princesses have horses and talk about the things that they're doing with their horses. And a lot of that is because I have always loved horses ever since I was a little girl. All the begging in the world never got me my own, at least not a live breathing one that I could actually do riding and stuff with. But it was never something that I grew out of, much to my poor mother's chagrin. And as I got older, I started to really enjoy drawing and painting horses. And when I discovered that Breyer had models that you could paint, I was all over that. I thought that was great. And so I started out just doing realistic bodies. I made a model of Zephyr, Lucian's horse. And I did one of Sunset Rose, Allegra's dressage champion. And I thought that was a lot of fun, and then I kind of got the idea to start doing some that were a little more whimsical, that had more to it, kind of like the painted ponies that you can find. And so I started out, the first one I did was Ad Astra, the black midnight horse. That one is of, I decided to try to do a little painting of the Keeper of the Plains statue in Wichita, because I grew up in Kansas. I still live in Kansas, and I absolutely love it here. It's such a beautiful state, and I loved the symbolism in the Keeper of the Plains statue. Ad astra per aspera is our state motto, and it means to the stars through difficulty, which I think is so perfect. Anytime you've got things going on in your life that are challenging or difficult, I think it's great to be able to remember that you can still reach your goals even though it's hard. And so I have him, and then I did a bunch of other ones. Most of them I don't have anymore because I've either sent them to people as giveaway prizes, and I did sell some for a short time, but there just really wasn't a lot of demand for it. So I figured I would focus more of my time on my writing, which does have a greater demand. But I still enjoy painting my horses and making some fun designs. The reason this one is for my daughter is because every time I did one to send away in a giveaway or to sell, she would get so excited until I told her it was for somebody else. And my daughter is the queen of pout. She has got the cutest pout, and it is nigh unto impossible to resist. And so I told her that this time around I would paint one that was just for her. And she made me promise that I was not going to give it away. So if you're watching me paint this and thinking, oh wow, that's gorgeous, I'd love to have it, sorry, it's claimed. What I'm doing right now is a dry brush technique to kind of bring in the highlights of the horse's body and to give it a little bit more of that yellow look that we talked about. This is a technique that I actually learned from my dad, who was actually very creative and artistic himself, even though he will never ever admit to it, when we painted ceramics together when I was young. Something I really enjoyed doing. Hopefully I can start doing that again sometime, and if I do, I might just make it a Creative Wednesday video so that you guys can see how it's done. Well, that was still kind of globby over there. The horse that you are currently looking at is called No Place Like Home. And yep, that is my one Kansas joke that I will actually appreciate. I've lived in Kansas basically my whole life. I've heard all the Wizard of Oz jokes, and you know, after a while, most of them just aren't funny. Got our body done, and now it's time to put in the mane and tail and darken up the legs. So we'll start with the tail. And you'll notice I'm holding the body already. This paint dries very, very quickly. It is an acrylic, and so it's meant to dry pretty fast. And that makes it really nice to work with, since I don't necessarily always get a lot of time to sit and paint. This black is really liquidy. Give that a little time to dry. Actually, and oh, looks like I missed a little spot on the mane there. Get that covered real quick. This horse, which one are you on? This horse is Oh Holy Night, and it's a depiction of the Nativity, which was actually a goal that I'd had for a long time, was to make a painting of the Nativity. I decided to start small. Someday, if I had the time and honestly the talent, I'd really love to do a really, really big painting of the Nativity. It's one of my favorite Bible stories. I love to read it and to think about all that Christ did for me. It's an important element of my life that doesn't necessarily go into my books very much, in part because some of what I write is fantasy. But a lot of it too is I'd rather focus on the story. And in general, my stories don't typically have a lot that is based on faith. I think it's great when authors do include a lot of their faith in their books. It's just not something that I've done much with. I'm gonna have to let those legs dry a little bit before I put the last little bit of black. So for now, I'm actually gonna switch brushes. I'm gonna get my itty bitty little detail brush. Let's see. There it is. This is the one brush I like to keep the little plastic cover on because it helps keep that point just nice and teeny tiny. So now we'll give this guy some eyes. If I can even get that. There we go. Oh, we've got the brown. Kind of darken up by his muzzle too. You have to wipe that black off though. Now for the hardest part. This part I actually have to bring my glasses down a little bit. That pupil. I just got black all over that poor guy's shoulder. Let's see if we can wipe that off. So it should still be wet. It's not going to come. That is alright because we've still got some of that yellowish color. We can cover that up. There we go. Perfect. Gray. Put a little bit of that on the muzzle, and then the rest we'll save to do his hooves. That brown should be good enough that we can add that last little bit of black. First, I want to give a little highlight to each eye. Ooh, there's a lot of liquid in it too. some out of that lid where it's thicker.